Hello, this is John Ramsey, and this is my big comeback. So glad to have all of you joining us today. I've got a very special guest today, Brooke Bullard from Anchorage Children's Home. Brooke, tell me a little bit about, I know you've been there for 19 years. Tell me a little bit about how you got to Anchorage Children's Home.
It was definitely a God thing. I moved here. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. So always a Florida girl, but got here a little over 20 years ago. Settled in, didn't really know what I was going to do. I was working for an attorney before that. My mother had a medical event, so that kind of put me on pause for,
Yeah,
seeking employment. So I stayed and took care of her to get her over the hump, and she's doing great. Um, and then I just started, seeing what was available in the community. I interviewed for a position, an administrative position at Anchorage Children's Home. Barb Cloud was the executive director. She's the original executive director
wow,
for Anchorage when it started 45 years ago. She hired me on the spot, and the rest is history.
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
so
a long time to be somewhere,
it
though.
is, and I've held various roles there. Like I said, started out in administrative. Never worked in the nonprofit world.
Yeah,
Really didn't have any idea of the services and impact that a nonprofit can have on a community.
yeah,
Volunteered as a child and as a young adult through various avenues. But over the course of this, almost 2 decades, I really see the impact that
yeah.
nonprofits have on families, individuals, and a community as a whole.
Well, and I feel like Anchorage Children's Home is a special nonprofit. And tell us about of what you do there, because I think a lot of people may not know all that you do.
That is true. Well, there's a lot of confusion about Anchorage because we have so many valuable programs that serve our community, but they're all under the umbrella of Anchorage. So Anchorage was started, like I said, 45 years ago by four local citizens in the community that wanted to make sure that abused, homeless, neglected, and runaway kids had a safe place to go. Back in the day, there was not a group home or a shelter for them, and they
Yeah,
often spent times in detention facilities because there was no
no
other
place to
option.
go.
There was
Yeah,
no other option for them. So they rallied the community. They fundraised, built the original Anchorage, which is off of McKelvey Road across from the Navy base in Panama City Beach. Um, Built the home free and clear and started Anchorage at the McKelvey home. And to this day, it's fast forward 45 years, we have an emergency shelter, which is Heidel House for age 10 to 17-year-old
that's
youth.
part of Anchorage.
Yes,
I didn't
Heidel.
know that. I
Yes,
didn't know that.
Idle House is part of Anchorage. It's our oldest residential program. It is the 24/7, I like to call it the emergency room for child welfare.
Yeah,
So kids that are removed for abuse, neglect, or are homeless or runaways or facing some challenges at home, Heidel answers the call.
that's
So they
great.
come in, we get them stable, provide for their everyday needs, care for them, make sure that whatever situation they're in, they're being properly
Yeah,
cared for and safe, and then we can see what the next step is for them
yeah.
at Heidel.
Because a lot of those situations, it's a right then
Oh,
situation.
absolutely.
They have to go somewhere right
Yeah, it's an
then.
emergency
There's
basis.
not time for the
Right.
bureaucracy of let's find this person a spot. They have somewhere that night.
Yeah, we like
Yeah,
to, of course, the Department of Children and Families likes to find a relative
yeah,
or an appropriate placement for those kids. But in those circumstances, often that's impossible to do.
yeah.
So that's where Anchorage's Heidel House comes into play, is to
That's
provide
great.
that safety for those kids until we can secure the next phase of their life.
That's
Hmm.
great.
Yeah,
That's great. And you got some other programs like with the housing.
we
Tell
do.
me about that.
So we have transitional living housing, which is for older teens.
Yeah,
That is strictly for the homeless population. Those kids are age 16 to 21, and they are just homeless. They don't have a
yeah,
safe alternative. So what we do is provide them that safety, get them out of survival mode because they're basically probably jumping from friend to friend,
yeah,
couch to couch, and probably not the best circumstances for them and environments for them. So we provide them the safety so that they can focus on what they need to, which is their education, employment, um, life skills training, saving money, budgeting, all of the stuff that moms and dads and guardians and aunts and uncles and important
yeah,
people in their life should be doing for them.
yeah,
So they can stay up to 18 months. During that 18-month period, we teach them those valuable skills, um, make sure that they're attending school. and then work towards the next chapter of their life, which is independence, free from homelessness, and free from abuse or substance abuse, or get them the counseling and the help that they need. So
I think some people don't realize that when you're homeless, how hard it is to get on your feet. I mean, when you start talking about taxes and insurance and light bill and light deposit and all, that's it's a tough place to stand up from.
right, and it's I'm glad that you brought that up, because part of the curriculum of that program is when the youth come into the program and are accepted and start working, we open a checking account or a savings account for them, not a checking account, excuse me, and retain 60% of their earnings and put that in that savings account for them, because we want them to know what it's like to pay rent, because typically about 60% of your income goes for your housing. So we save that for them in an account in their name, and then when they discharge and transition out of the program successfully, then they get that money back.
Get them started.
Yeah, it's start of life funds, absolutely.
Start of life fund.
Yes.
Which I think people don't realize, we all have that.
Right.
It was called parents.
It's called parents.
Yeah, they helped us get our first house. They helped us get on our feet. They helped us get our first car. If you were starting with none of that, it's an uphill climb.
Well, our kids are thinking about where they're going to get their next meal.
Yeah.
And where they're going to lay their head that night. They're not necessarily thinking about their future. In their eyes, they don't have a future.
They're survival mode.
This is their future.
Yeah.
And so it's important for us to kind of break down those barriers and say, look, okay, you're safe now. You're with us. Now we're going to put together a plan and how you can be successful and independent.
Yeah. So is Anchorage Children's Home any part of detention at all? They're not.
No,
are they? Yeah.
not at all. We're a nonprofit. We do receive some funds through a contract with the Department of Juvenile Justice, which is prevention money.
Yeah.
And that's for counseling for families that maybe are going through some issues with their child with truancy, or they need some assistance with just, chaos behaviors in the home.
Tell me about that, because I know some families, the child is not homeless, they're together, but they're going through disruption. How does Anchorage step in with stuff like that?
So we have several programs for that. We have for the younger population, which is elementary school age, we have our SNAP program, which is Stop Now and Plan. And that's basically an evidence-based curriculum that helps parents and children identify triggers of behavior issues, and helps them process those triggers, those behaviors, and then de-escalate the situation on their own, like have the cool thoughts. And so we provide counseling for the kids as in a group setting, and then the parents in a separate group setting. And it's really to give them the tools.
And they're coming in for that.
Absolutely.
I think that's where some people don't understand Anchorage Children's Home. You provide a lot of stuff that's not just for the people living there, but for the whole community.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a lot of non-residential services.
Yeah.
And that's family counseling, which is available to any family in any circumstance that needs counseling at no cost. So that's important for the community to know that there are services and resources available. If you need help, just call us and we can see what program would best suit your needs.
And see, I think there's people that don't know that. I mean, it's no cost. It's there for you. It's there to help, and maybe even prevent getting to a place where someone's running away or where the family's crashing. You need to preempt that and try to get some people some counseling to help them.
Well, and beyond just the counseling, we offer a 30-day cooling off period inside our Heidel House.
Yeah.
So it acts as a shelter for emergency situations, but it also acts as a cooling off period for families that are in chaos or in crisis.
Yeah.
So if mom or dad is having, some difficulty with their teenager at home, skipping schools, sneaking out, whatever those behaviors look like, we can offer 30 days, come stay at our program. We offer counseling to the youth and the family to try and get everybody back on the same page before it escalates to something more severe. Because we want that prevention. We want to intervene before it becomes, delinquency or dependency system.
Yeah. So the main campus is right there. Is it off of Lisenby?
It is.
And then the Heidel House is on the beach?
Lisenby.
Or,
no.
Or is it also on?
Yeah, so all of our shelter and our transitional living programs
are all there together.
On Lisenby. We still do have the McElvey home, but that's where our Stop Now and Plan group counseling takes place out there at the beach.
Great. So how did the hurricane affect you all?
So the hurricane,
Because it got everybody.
I think it affected
It
everyone.
It got everybody.
Everybody. I don't think anyone doesn't.
Did you have to close at any point?
We did not. So
Wow.
that was probably one of the obviously the most memorable experiences in my career at Anchorage.
Yeah.
We did not evacuate. We typically a storm will impact the beach.
Yeah.
So we had kids at the McKelvey home on the beach, and we brought them in town to
Oh, yeah.
the Heidel House. Well, you know
Yeah.
how that
Oh,
ended.
yeah.
So we had 10 kids in the shelter with some staff hunkered down during Hurricane Michael. So yes, we received significant damage.
I think everyone did. And, I think the people that were able to operate after it were fortunate because
Yes.
there was a lot of places that could not. We had 4 buildings. We had 3 of them that we had to demolish. We had 1 building and we moved everything we could into that building. We had to repair that building, but it was fixable, where the others were just not. And
Yeah, we didn't have to
hard.
demolish anything, but we had significant, our roof was compromised. We had a lot of damage. But we did not sit around and wait for insurance. We, rolled our sleeves up and started pulling up carpet and doing what we needed to do immediately. Because
it was
we knew
survival mode for
it
everyone.
was. Everybody,
do what you can.
You figured out what people had in them during that time.
I remember we had a house on the water, so we didn't know. We were at the church, which was destroyed, and that's where we had always hunkered down and rode out. We had rode out 4 hurricanes in that church, even used it as a Red Cross shelter before. So to think it would go through any damage, we were shocked, and we were just thinking, well, we probably don't even have a house left if this is what the church looks like. So when we pulled up to the house, the front of the house looked great, and we said, "Oh, the house is staying and everything good." We went in, we had, of course, some windows broke out on the back. We had some water damage. We had some roof damage. We had one room where a tree had poked through the ceiling and was a branch sticking into that one room. And we just bisqueened it off and said, "Hey, it's livable. Let's live here while we fix it," because there's nowhere else to go. I mean, we made the best of it, and I think businesses were the same way. Let's see what we can do to make this work until we can get some help.
Yeah, we our staff really amazed me. We pulled together. We all worked hard. We were sharing offices, 3, 4 staff members together because we knew our services are vital to families in crisis, and then a crisis on top of their own crisis. I mean, that could have just been, devastating to them. So we wanted to make sure that we were still available to provide resources and assistance to families and youth in the community while we rebuilt. We just didn't have an option. So
well, and that's the thing, everybody's business is destroyed, but everybody's house is destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's everything at one time.
Yes.
So tell me about the day-to-day in your role at Anchorage. What are you doing during the day that you're doing stuff like this? You're doing promotion and community involvement to let everybody know. What else are we doing?
So I'm the development director. So what that means is I'm basically overseeing the public relations, the marketing, the fundraising, the community engagement, the outreach, grants, private money.
Yeah.
So Anchorage runs on various streams of revenue, which would be some contracts with other providers that we provide the service that they need us to help with, such as shelter beds, foster care, case management. But there's always never enough money to provide a quality program for the community. So fundraising and community support is key. So my role is to engage the community, make sure the community understands the vital services and programs that we have, and then see how they can get plugged in with that. See how they can support us, whether it's financially, whether it's through volunteerism, whether it's through special events. Everything is different. So no day is the same for me because I look for opportunities to educate folks on what we do and how they can get involved. So it's a very rewarding experience. Learn something new every day, get to meet phenomenal people every day. So I absolutely love it. I love it.
About how many children are you serving at any given time? Just an average. I know the number moves around.
Yeah, so annually, because of all of our programs, we have case management for foster care kids up in the Mariana and Chipley areas.
Wow.
We have a street outreach program that works with homeless youth and families in our community. We offer the shelter, which is Heidel House, transitional living, and then the counseling. All of those are under Anchorage Children's Home. So collectively, we serve about 1,200 children and families every year.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Yes.
It's a lot of families, a lot of needs.
It's a lot of need out there.
So and this is a Bay County thing, Anchorage Children's Home, correct?
Yes, we serve the surrounding six counties.
6 counties, yeah. I was going to say, I don't know of anything like it
Right.
anywhere around us. So where do they get help in those places? You know, I mean,
Right.
that's a tough thing. I know every community needs something like this, but not every community has it.
Right, and we've expanded our services over the last year or so to meet those needs of those counties that maybe are underserved.
Yeah.
Just this past year, we were awarded a grant through the Impact 100 Gulf Coast
Yeah.
initiative.
Great organization.
Oh goodness, yes,
Doing a lot of great
phenomenal
work.
women doing
Yeah.
great work. So we
Yeah.
were a grant
That's
award
fantastic.
recipient. So we were able to expand our street outreach program to provide micro meals for local students, middle and high school students who have food insecurity.
Yeah.
And so that grant has allowed us to provide 650 meals monthly
That's
to
great.
the outer lying counties as well, to those schools who identify students that are going home hungry.
Yeah.
It's kind of like similar to Backpack Blessings.
Yeah. I worry about those counties because they don't always have the resources.
And they're hard to serve.
Yeah,
You know, those
spread out.
Those rural areas are very difficult to reach.
Yeah,
We also have counselors up in those areas as well. We work closely with law enforcement in every county. Just
Do you
so
have any
that
offices in the other counties? Or yeah, do you?
we have an office in Marietta, Chipley, and then of course Bay County is our main hub. Yes.
That's great. That's great. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Heroes Child is a nonprofit organization that is on a mission to help community heroes with the everyday cost of childcare. We know that heroes like our military personnel, first responders, and foster families need care for their children. Heroes Child awards these families scholarships that go to help pay their childcare tuition. Use the QR code on the screen to donate now or visit heroeschild.org today.
Hello, this is John Ramsey. I'm here. We're discussing Anchorage Children's Home with Brooke Bullard, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm learning stuff about what you're doing, and you're, as usual, doing a lot more than I knew you do. It's hard for everyone to know because I know how these things get with nonprofits. With being a pastor for 35 years and having our preschool out at Harvest, it grows. Like you start off doing this, and then, well, I can do that, and then someone says, "Can you do this?" Well, I'll try. And then it's like the need becomes so great that it just stretches you is what it does. And I know we were talking about right before the break, you have offices in the rural counties. And I know that there's a lot. What about staffing? How big a group are you staff-wise?
So we have approximately 80 employees, and that includes all of our case managers up in the Ridge, what we call it, Marietta and Chipley. That's about half of our workforce is in the northern counties. And then we have staff, of course, professional staff that are counselors, case managers, direct care supervision of the youth in our programs, resident advisors, and then, of course, our administration office.
That's great. That's a lot of people.
It is.
80 people's a lot of people to keep up with and keep going. And now, does that count your volunteers, or that's just your paid staff?
That's just our paid staff. It's
Wow.
probably a little under 80.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of people, and spread out to a big area and all.
Yes.
So, like your living facility there off of Lisenby, how many residences do you have there?
So we have the Lisenby Avenue office is where our shelter is, and that's a 20-bed facility for youth aged 10 to 17. And then we have our transitional living housing, which is on the same campus, and that's for 16 to 21-year-olds. There's 6 beds for those youth, and then there's 6 beds for the maternity transitional living program, which is the same population of homeless youth, 16 to 21, but they are pregnant, parenting homeless mothers and their babies.
Wow, that's neat. That's neat that you help those people. Who really inspired you in your life? I mean, you know, there's these people we meet along the way that either they help us or we see them helping people, and we get it in our spirit. I want to be that kind of person that helps those people. Who's your inspiration?
So I was raised by a group of very strong women. My mother is probably one of the strongest women I know. My aunt, her sister, probably equally as strong. And then their mother, which was my grandmother.
That's great.
Equally. So we were a very, very close family, and we are a very driven group of women that we don't know how to quit. And when we decide that we're going to tackle something and do something, we're going to see it to the end and make sure that we put forth our best effort to get it done. So I I commend those women in my life, and I think that without them, I probably would not
That's great.
be what I am. Yes,
You learn from the best on how to
did.
get involved and do something.
I did. Yes.
You know, there's a lot that people can do, and there's so few people that do it. I mean, I think we've come into a time in our society where we're just so entertainment driven, and you know, I'm not an anti-social media person because I use it a lot.
Sure.
But the truth is we can't look at our phones all day. We can't watch television all day. There's people that need stuff. There's people that are hungry. There's people that are homeless. There's people that are in crisis, and they need someone to care about them and help them. And you know, you know, believe it or not, I forget what article I read where they said the most popular charities right now are pet charities, which I'm not against. I'm not against them. Please don't write me
Everybody
angry
loves their
letters.
dogs and cats,
I'm not
yes.
against the dogs and cats, but it shows you a little bit where our society has changed. You know, when I think of a child being without a safe place to live or a child hungry, it's top of the list. I mean, that's the first thing we've got to take care of. And our society is just backwards sometimes. I think we forget.
Yeah, I think there's so many important causes and so many things, so much good out there. But me personally, as Brooke Bullard, I just find that supporting your local community and the children and families in our backyard that
Yeah.
need assistance,
Yeah.
we cannot overlook that.
Cannot.
We have got to make sure that we come together as a community to provide what they need. Families are struggling, and sometimes it's of no fault of their own.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some families that we, you know, situations that we come across that are not ideal, and they probably should have made some better choices.
Yeah.
But that is impacting the children, and it's our job at Anchorage to make sure that those children are seen, heard, protected, and that they're safe, and that we can provide them with the resources that they need to be successful. I often tell our kids when I have, you know, interaction with the older teens, the message that I want them to know is that don't let your circumstances right now define you, because this is just a chapter of your life that is part of God's perfect plan. And while you might not understand it right now, and you might not agree with it, and it might not make any sense, and you think, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're there for them, to support them, care for them, guide them, so that they can see that there are opportunities for me, and I can get out of this, and this is just leading to the next event in my life, which
Yeah.
we want to set them up for success and for
Well,
independence.
and you know, the lives of children affect society. You know, I heard one person say we can either build more prisons or we can build more schools and child care centers and places. Because the truth is, we either help them off to a good start or we deal with it later with the effects of that. And I think sometimes people, you know, there's the whole role of education. You know, being educated helps us have a good life and provide for our families and have houses and cars and food and the things we need. But, you know, it's the stability of knowing I'm safe, knowing I'm cared for, knowing I'm not hungry. Those, I mean, they affect the rest of your life. If you have food insecurity, where you're not sure where you're going to eat tomorrow, there's nothing else you're thinking about today except what am I going to eat tomorrow?
Well, and
the
that's
only thing
why
on
we
your
started
mind.
the Micro Meals Initiative, was because how do we expect a child to focus on their test
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and to learn if
I don't
they're
care what I
hungry?
get on that grade.
Right.
I'm hungry.
They're thinking about,
Yeah.
you know, when am I going to eat again?
Yeah.
You know, and that's why we started, and we listened to the needs of the community, and we want to provide services that meet those needs.
Yeah.
So the Stop Now and Plan is engaging kids at a younger age with behavior issues, because by the time we get them when they're teenagers, a lot of the damage is done, and
Yeah.
undoing that is very, very
It is hard to
challenging.
undo it.
So if we can get services in place for these children and these families at an earlier age, the success rate of them, you know, being successful obviously is
Absolutely.
a lot higher.
What's the biggest challenge to doing what you're doing at Anchorage Children's Home? What is the greatest need and what's the hardest thing to overcome?
Well, if I wasn't doing my job, I would be mistaken if I didn't say money. I mean,
It is money,
everything is money.
Yeah.
So the biggest need for Anchorage, and I think I can speak for any nonprofit in this community, is funding.
It's funding. Yeah.
We have to have funding, we have to have money and community support in order to do the service.
Yeah.
And the ever-changing climate of funding is so
Yeah.
uncertain. It is completely uncertain right now. There are, and I'll give you a prime example, our transitional living program, The Bridge, which is for the older 16 to 21-year-old homeless teens that we serve for up to 18 months.
Yeah.
That is a federal grant that we apply for on a national basis. We've received that grant for over 18 years through the Department of Health and Human Services. This past September, we found out we are not getting that grant.
Oh my goodness.
So all that money went away to run that program. So it's $250,000 a year to run that program and to provide the housing and the operations of that for those children. They are children to me. They're young adults.
Yeah.
So we're self-funding it. We are raising money, private money, going to donors, going to people that believe in us and know what we do and are supporting us. And then educating others that don't know.
$250,000 just for that program.
Just for that
That's
program.
one of your programs.
That's one, and that's just for a year.
For a year.
So we have kids that are living in that program right now. 5 of them just graduated from local high schools here.
Wow.
And are working and are continuing their education here locally. We're not going to evict children.
No.
We're not going to
You're
tell
going to make
them.
it happen.
And we are making it happen. So that's just one example of the challenges every day, because when we rely on others, such as the government, and I'm not saying anything, it's just the times that we're living in.
The government changes.
There's a lot of uncertainty with that. So we can't put all of our eggs in that basket.
That's the truth.
So we want to get away from
and
that.
I think a lot of people don't understand that, when administrations change, government changes, and it's all people beating their drum about this is important now. No, next year, no, this is important.
Always
Man,
changes.
the needs are always there. They don't go away. And I think, I hear sometimes people say, well, with everything going up in our life, how can it be this much for childcare or whatever? Everything went up for us too. What we used to, we serve about 6,000 meals a month for our kids in our school, and it used to be $3,000 a month. Now it's almost $9,000 a month. Same amount of kids. That's just how much different groceries cost now.
Sure.
So if it goes up at their house, it goes up at your house.
Right. Well, our shelter, we have to feed the kids, so our expenses are going up. Competing for quality staff is very challenging. A nonprofit just cannot pay the same thing that a for-profit business can. And it's a special position. I mean, you have to find people that are passionate and really truly believe in what we're doing, because we can't pay them and compete with the for-profit world. So, so there's a lot of challenges with that. But funding can go away at any time. There's always people that are higher than us that are going to make decisions and it's going to trickle down and impact us. So I would say educating the community about what we do, financial support, and advocacy is huge for us. Just knowing what we do and being innovative and thinking of ways that you can support us and get involved is always what my job is.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I appreciate what you're doing. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to connect your organization with an audience that is eager for inspiration? The My Big Comeback podcast, hosted by John R. Ramsey, shares powerful stories of resilience and redemption, featuring guests who have turned life setbacks into major comebacks. New episodes drop the 1st and 15th of every month. For those interested in being a part of this community, sponsorship opportunities are now available. To learn more, contact Meredith Cobb at meredithcobbhwc@gmail.com. Let's make a big comeback together.
All right, I'm back with Brooke, and I want to tell you, I want to ask you a little more about your personal side. So, what do you do besides Anchorage Children's Home?
Well, for the month of December, nothing, because it was Christmas.
Yeah.
No, I have 2 beautiful daughters. One of them is married. I have an awesome son-in-law. I'm very proud of them. They both are still here local.
Oh, good, good.
One of them works for a local attorney, and the other, he's in the business world. They bought a house. They're just a great couple. So I love them very much. And then I have a 16-year-old daughter who is a sophomore at Mosley High School.
Great.
And she's our athlete, and she's just a beautiful, beautiful young lady. I'm very proud of her. But we do travel ball, so we do a lot of volleyball on
Bless your
weekends.
heart, you stay busy.
Yes, and I love anything sports related.
Yeah?
So, anything that has to do with outside, the beach, sports.
You golf?
That's me. I do not go. I've tried, but I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what would be on your bucket list? What's some things you want to do that you haven't done?
Well, I do a lot of traveling for volleyball, but I'd like to
Yeah.
do some traveling that does not involve a gymnasium or volleyball. So,
Yeah.
so traveling would be something that I would love to do, and then just really get to spend some good quality time, maybe some trips with my girls.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
son-in-law. That'd be
Have
awesome.
you traveled much in the United States or?
Younger years I did. I've been out
Yeah.
west a few times.
Yeah. What part of out west?
So I went to the Grand Canyon when I was
Yeah.
a kid, all that good stuff. I
Nice,
did go see
beautiful.
Elton John in concert in Los Angeles, though, about 5 years ago.
Los Angeles, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and actually, was it 5 or 6
How
years
was
ago?
that concert? Pretty good?
It was great. Yeah, it was good. Me and my
I
best
feel like
girlfriend
every
went.
5 years he does a farewell tour.
I know. I think this was the
But that's
farewell
all
tour.
right. I saw Billy Joel in Tampa, and
Right.
everyone says the last one. I heard that before.
Right.
I think they're done when they're done making money.
Yeah, so me and my best friend, we went over there and we had a great time. It was just something.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it was just kind of a let's
Did
do
you
it.
get to go around LA a little bit?
We
and
did.
See?
We did a little bit of traveling around
Yeah.
and got to do some sightseeing, so that was fun.
It's one of the places I've never been. I mean, I've been to New York and some of the other cities, but and I've been to California, but
Right.
not LA. You know, so I'd like to see all that. What about out of the country, abroad?
No,
Have you been out?
You know what? I haven't, and I want to, but things just seem to be a little too uncertain for me
Yeah,
these days.
sometimes it is. Yeah,
But
sometimes it is.
it's still on my list. Yes,
Yeah,
it's still on my list.
yeah.
So maybe one day I'll get there.
I've not been very far. I mean, the Caribbean and Mexico and different places, but not too much else. I want to go see Europe, and some of them places are on my bucket list. And
Right.
what's some other things you'd like to do though, besides travel?
I'm a pretty simple person.
Yeah?
I just like to.
I know you're invested in your children,
I
and a lot
am.
of us are.
I
That's
am,
what
but
it
you know
is.
what? I also like time for myself too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I like to, take in any football game I can get to is
Yeah.
great. I love sitting on the beach, just relaxing. We have absolutely
We
the
have.
world's most
That's why
beautiful beaches.
no beaches are on my bucket list because
Right.
I think we
You
live
don't have
at
to
the,
spend a
I
lot of
think
money
we
to
live at
go.
the prettiest beach.
Right. So I'm pretty simple. So just really just family stuff is good with me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
So what about reading or movies? You got any favorites or anything you
I like to read anything sports related. I do.
sports? Who's your team? You keep on saying
Well,
sports.
I
I
don't
must
know.
be a big fan of somebody.
Well, I live in the Panhandle, so but
Yeah.
I'm a Gator.
A
Florida
Gator.
I grew up in
Okay.
Jacksonville though,
All
so don't
right.
hold that against
Yeah.
me. But yeah, so I like any football game. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who's playing. I
Yeah.
just like to watch. But
Yeah.
I do like to spend time. My dad lives over in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
So I like
Beautiful
to go.
area.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I like the history and all over there. It's
It
pretty.
is a very, very quaint, great town. A lot of fun, and just
Yeah.
small enough though to have a good time. So
The last time I went to St. Augustine, I took my daughter Olivia is a huge Megan Maroney fan, so like she was going to be over. So we went to over there to St. Augustine, and we actually stayed on that little beach, which reminded me of old Panama City. It had that little shops and little mom and pop restaurants and stuff, and I liked it. It was neat because I've always been on more of the Jacksonville business side. So going down in there on the little coastal areas, there's a lot of pretty little bitty communities in there that
It
are really
is.
nice.
yeah, my dad lives on the Intercoastal there in Volano Beach.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is,
yeah.
And it's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
it really
just
is.
pretty.
So we have pretty beaches, but it's just a different pretty
It
over
is
there.
a different,
So
yeah,
it's nice.
It just it has that older Florida feel to me, and I
Yes,
like
it
that.
does.
I like, I like that area. The Crystal River area is really, really pretty, and it has that old, like Panacea, Crystal River. All of them there's a different part of Florida. And everybody thinks Florida, they think Disney World, they think, that's great. But I mean, there's a pretty natural side of Florida that I think everybody should see.
Yeah, there's a place called Anna Maria Island.
Yeah.
Have you heard of
yeah,
that? Or have you been
yeah.
there?
I haven't been there.
That's
but I've heard of it.
that's on my bucket list.
Yeah,
I do want to go
that's
there.
pretty.
It's not too crazy of a bucket list
No,
item,
no,
but
you
I'm
can
going to try and make
you can
time.
get there,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I'm going to try and make time to do that. 'Cause
It's making the time to do it is
and
what
that
you've
is
got to do.
a huge thing is work-life balance, which
Yeah.
everybody needs
yeah.
to exercise self-care, but sometimes it's hard.
It is hard because
Yeah.
you have a lot of things that pull at you with, it's something about a nonprofit, I've dealt with them all my life. It's like there's not one need, it's 50 needs, it's 100 needs. And it's like which one is screaming the loudest is what
Exactly.
you're working on. And it's not that you don't care about all of it, but it's hard to cover all the bases. It really is.
It is. It's hard to detach to. When you leave it, you can't really leave it. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, you try to, but drawing that line and saying, look, okay, now I'm putting that here, and I'm going to be here with my family. But you're constantly worrying about things. You're
Yeah.
constantly worrying about losing a program or the kids that are there. I mean, it's just it always weighs heavy on you.
What would you've been here about 20 years, you said, or is that right? 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to see more of in Bay County? What would you
Oh,
like to see us have more of?
ah, gosh, you're stumping me on that one.
Oh, yeah,
I, I mean, the growth is good. I think the biggest challenge for me with Bay County right now is just the new people that are coming here.
yeah,
Um, I guess just connecting people
yeah,
to various things that they can get involved with. Educating the community on what we do
Yeah.
is very challenging for me
yeah,
because I'm a one woman show with that, and being the advocate and the spokesperson for it is hard because you want to make sure that you're sending the message to everyone about what we do, how they can get involved. But unless you've been impacted by what we
Yeah.
do or you have a connection to us, you probably don't think about Anchorage Children's Home.
yeah.
So I was grateful when you called about doing this
Yeah.
podcast because
Well, I want people to know about Anchorage Children's Home
Right.
because I think it's a great organization, and I don't think enough people know what all you do. You do a lot more than even I knew.
right.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot.
so I want people to know that we're here. What we do is so vital, so vital. And we can't go away. I mean,
Yeah,
our community
no.
would look so different if we had to shut the doors of Anchorage
Yeah.
Children's Home. And that's a fear that I have, but I don't live in fear. I live in faith.
Yeah.
And this community has always, stepped up and
Yeah.
and met our needs.
We have a
which is
good
great.
community. We have a lot of givers.
Phenomenal people.
A lot of people that give and help, and we appreciate that. And I think that when you look at the needs of children, there's people that's where their heart is, and I'm thankful for that because it does matter. It does matter. One of the things we started was we started an organization called Heroes Child, and it helps military, first responders, and foster children. And of course, we foster children, they're mostly covered by ELC. We make sure that anything that's not covered, we cover and take care of. With child care with, under 5 is where our focus is. But, even people in the military, our goal is to get it to where, when we have those people that are called up for duty, that we can step up and help them with child care and whatever we can do. But it's so big. The need is so big with everything. And, we help all we can, but there's always more. It's like a bottomless pit.
It is.
You never have enough to help every single person with every single
There will
need.
never be enough funds to meet the need as of right now. I mean, there really isn't, and that can be frustrating. It can be very frustrating because
Well,
you know what.
and I heard this with some people on social media last week because they were talking about some of the fraud they're investigating in Minnesota. And, the knee-jerk reaction is, okay, cut off everybody or whatever. I'm not saying the president said that. I don't even think he really said it. Someone's attached that to his administration. But the truth is it's not possible. I mean, the country would collapse. I mean, people don't realize how many people need help and get help. And without it, no one's going to work. No one has a place to live. Most people aren't eating. I mean, it is so ingrained in our society that people don't realize that you can't just say, cut everyone off. I mean, the child has to have somewhere to stay.
Right, and there's so many families that are one flat tire away from
Yeah.
being homeless. I mean, losing one paycheck and not being able to go to work could really just be the bottom
Yeah.
falls out for them. So it's not, and I don't want people to think too that there's all these bad parents out there. No, there's some people are just doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
Now, and that's not to say that we don't deal with some parents that have made some really, really poor
Yeah.
choices. And it has impacted their children's lives significantly. But on the flip side, there's also families that we're trying to help that are doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And there might be a mental illness that's, prohibiting them from succeeding, or they're just a victim of circumstance, or it's a cycle. And if it's our job to try and break that cycle for these young people so that they don't repeat that same behavior that they've been brought up in.
Yeah. I feel like everyone needs help at some point
Of course.
in their life, and that we just shouldn't be judgmental and critical with people. We should, if we can help them, help them. The old scripture, I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you visited me. I was hungry and you fed me. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but what I mean is there's a need going to come up in all of our lives, whether it's, with council on aging, with what they do to help people that are seniors and not able to get the help that they need, even to a doctor's appointment or whatever. There is no end
Right.
to how we can help. And The only thing we need the people to do is not ask if they can help, but how they can help, because everybody can help. And there's from whether it's little bitty kids to teenagers to seniors, somebody needs help, and I'm thankful for what you all are doing.
Thank you. Yeah, our older population of teens, that's where my heart is,
Yeah.
because the younger kids love them, think that's wonderful
Yeah.
too. But the teenagers tend to be the forgotten.
They do.
You know, and some people have this in their head that, oh, well, they're 18. Then, when I was 18. Okay, well, when I was 18, I did not have it figured out. And it took me repeat mistakes to figure it out. And sometimes to this day, I think I still haven't figured it out. But so it's really up to us as wise, older folks to really wrap our arms around these young people and just say, look, don't be down and out. This is not who you are. It's just your circumstances right now, and we can work together, and I'm here for you, and we can get you through this.
What's y'all's biggest fundraiser of the year?
So we don't do a lot of fundraisers. We do we do a golf tournament, which is in November every year. We call it a friendraiser because it doesn't bring in a bunch of money, but it's just really a good feel-good PR for us. But we do more of peer-to-peer fundraising, which is having meaningful conversations like this and all of your great viewers about how they can get involved and what we're doing, why it's so important, and then what our goals are. So
great.
how people can individually get involved. We offer tours of our facility. You can come in and see the shelter. You can meet with some of our staff. You can meet some of our kids and learn about our daily operation. I'm a visual person, so when I see something, it makes more sense to me about how things operate.
I came and toured it, and I was surprised at the size and how much you all are doing. It's a big operation.
Yeah, so we're really proud of it. So we want the community to know and to learn about it, and then share with their friends. Talk about it with your friends. Maybe you have a friend that's looking to get plugged in somewhere or is new to this area. So we want any opportunity we can to show you the good work we're doing.
It's a great thing. I appreciate you coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
having
much
me.
for sharing with us.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.